The late 1980s and early 1990s marked a significant era in gaming, particularly with the rise of horror-themed video games that sought to capture the essence of popular films. One of the more intriguing adaptations of this trend was the 1990 release of A Nightmare on Elm Street for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Developed by Rare and published by LJN, the game draws inspiration from Wes Craven's iconic slasher film franchise, bringing the nightmarish world of Freddy Krueger to the 8-bit console. Despite its mixed reception, the game remains a noteworthy example of how video games could interpret and expand upon film narratives. A Nightmare on Elm Street uniquely blends platforming and survival horror elements. Players each control one of 4 teenagers featured in the movie. The primary objective is to gather the remains of Freddy Krueger's bones, hidden within various dreamlike levels, and ultimately confront him in the final showdown. This premise cleverly intertwines the game mechanics with the film's lore and encourages players to delve into the dream world to defeat the iconic villain. The gameplay is structured around 2 main environments, the real world and the dream world. Players traverse through the streets of Elm Street and into various dream sequences filled with platforming challenges, enemies, and collectible items. The graphics, while limited by the NES's capabilities, effectively portray the eerie atmosphere associated with the franchise. The game excels in its use of color and design to create a sense of unease, reflecting the surreal horror of the dreams where Freddy thrives. Throughout the game, players encounter various enemies inspired by the film, including Freddy's grotesque minions that embody the nightmarish qualities of his character. The challenge lies not only in defeating these foes, but also in managing the teenagers' sleep levels. As players navigate through the game, they must avoid being caught by Freddy's minions who can attack and reduce the player's sleep bar. The game cleverly incorporates a mechanic where, when one player's sleep bar empties, all players are transported to the dream world, where enemies take on a grotesque appearance and become more difficult to defeat. Players can return to the real world by collecting radios, adding a layer of strategic planning to the gameplay. To aid the player, Dream Warrior icons are discreetly placed throughout the levels that, once collected, change the character sprite into one of 3 Dream Warriors. Each has a projectile attack and offers improved leaping skills. These icons appear in the normal world and can be used only in the dream world. Upon its release, A Nightmare on Elm Street received mixed reviews from critics and players alike. Some praised its innovative blend of horror and platforming, while others criticized its repetitive gameplay and lack of depth. The game's sound design and music, composed by David Wise, also garnered attention for their ability to evoke a sense of tension and fear, enhancing the overall experience. Despite its shortcomings, it carved out a niche in the realm of horror gaming, resonating particularly with fans of the films. The game's legacy can be seen in how it paved the way for future horror adaptations in gaming. It demonstrated that video games could effectively capture the atmosphere of horror films, offering players an interactive experience that extended beyond passive viewing. The ability to explore the lore of a beloved franchise while engaging in gameplay was a significant step forward in video game design. A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES remains a fascinating case study in the intersection of film and video games. While it may not have achieved the critical acclaim of other titles, its unique mechanics, thematic depth, and reliance on the horror genre reflect the creativity and experimentation of the time. As part of a broader trend of horror adaptations in gaming, it serves as a reminder of the potential for video games to explore complex narratives and immerse players in the chilling worlds of their favorite films. For fans of both the franchise and retro gaming, it stands as a nostalgic testament to the era's ambition and innovation.